Your subconscious isn't just a set of beliefs, it's connected to your future. And if you don't learn how to change that connection, you'll keep repeating the same reality, again and again. Even when you think you've changed, most people never notice. Because the loop feels like life. It feels like routine. It feels like personality. It feels like this is just how things are for me. But behind the familiar, there's a pattern. Behind your thoughts, a frequency. And behind that frequency, a code. And right now, that code is being broadcast by a version of you that you don't remember choosing. There's a field operating in the background of your mind, a hidden framework shaping what you attract, how you feel, and who you believe you are. It doesn't respond to your words. It doesn't care what you want. It responds to what you are beneath the story. It responds to the connection. What you're about to hear isn't a lesson. It's a revelation, a reveal of the invisible system that ties your subconscious to repeating timelines, and how to start breaking free, not through force, but through alignment. Because once you understand how the field truly works, you don't chase change anymore. You become the code itself. You've probably heard the term quantum entanglement before, maybe in a documentary, maybe in some spiritual content. It sounds complicated, futuristic, scientific, but also vague. What if I told you it's not vague at all? That it's not just about tiny particles floating in space, acting strangely? What if quantum entanglement is happening inside you right now, and you're experiencing its effects every single day, without even realizing it? Let's debunk the myth. In simple terms, quantum entanglement occurs when two particles link together so that the state of one instantly influences the other, regardless of distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but he was wrong about one thing. It's not spooky. It's exact. It's the blueprint of the universe, and more crucially, it's the blueprint of your mind. Because what scientists are uncovering, and what mystics have long understood, is that entanglement doesn't end with particles. It happens with thoughts, emotions, identity. It happens with memory, belief, energetic resonance. Every experience you've had, every trauma, every choice, every unexpressed feeling, none of it vanished. It became entangled. And here's the risky part. It entangled with you, across time, with versions of yourself that still exist, with timelines still open, with possibilities you've never consciously reached. Yet they're looping in your subconscious right now. This isn't metaphor. This is field science. When a particle entangles, it no longer has an isolated state. It shares information instantly, simultaneously, across what we perceive as space and time. And you, as a vibrational being, are no different. You aren't isolated. You aren't separate. You aren't even linear. You're an entangled system of thoughts, memories, intentions, patterns, fears, desires, and frequencies. You're broadcasting codes into the field and receiving codes back based on who and what you're entangled with. So ask yourself, have you ever felt like you were reliving something endlessly? Like no matter how much you change, something drags you back. That's not a block, that's a quantum tether, a hidden link between you and a version of your life that never really closed, one that still reverberates in your thoughts, emotions, reactions. You try to grow, you try to shift, you do the inner work. But beneath it all, something fights back. That resistance isn't laziness, it's not weakness, it's the entanglement. It's the emotional field replaying an outdated frequency, one that no longer aligns with the person you're becoming. And unless you break the bond, unless you change the loop's frequency, you'll keep falling back into that old reality, like a magnetic pull, like gravity, but unseen, Here's what most people get wrong. They think they need to fix themselves, rewrite their beliefs, say nicer affirmations, visualize more intensely. But quantum entanglement doesn't respond to sheer willpower. It responds to vibrational alignment. That means your subconscious field, your deep emotional and energetic foundation, must resonate with a new frequency. Not briefly, not sometimes, but consistently. And here's the catch. You don't need to locate the entangled version of yourself and sever it. You need to transform it. You need to engage with it. You need to shift its resonance from within the field. Because you're not just entangled with your past, you're also entangled with your potential, with your higher purpose, with the version of you that already exists in a reality of harmony, growth, and flow. That version isn't waiting for you. It's already transmitting, but you can't perceive it. If you are still tangled and static, you need to adjust your reception. And tuning in isn't about effort. It's about growing quiet enough to sense the signal. In the next chapter, we'll explore something even more profound: how your subconscious mind got entangled to begin with, and why, until you change that buried code, your conscious attempts will keep getting hijacked by something deeper. Because once you see how the program was installed, you can finally start rewriting it. Not through struggle, but through resonance. Brace yourself. There's something you've assumed your whole life, that your thoughts are truly yours, that your mind is under your control, that what you think, desire, or decide comes from your conscious self. But that's false. And somewhere inside, you've known it. You've known it every time you acted against your own interests, every time you undermined your stated goals, every time your gut reacted before your mind could rationalize it. That isn't you failing. That's you operating from a mind that was never fully yours to command. Because before words, before identity, there was conditioning. From your family, your environment, everything you absorbed through feeling, instinct, and vibration. And those early imprints, most formed before age 7, got woven into your field as absolute truth. Not truth because they were real, truth because they were repeated. And repetition, in the quantum field, is code. See, your subconscious doesn't learn through logic. It learns through rhythm, through exposure, through resonance. Whatever it feels most often, it accepts as safe. And whatever feels safe, it protects, even if it's harming you. This is why so many people feel stuck when they try to change. They say things like, "I don't know why I keep attracting the same relationships. I want abundance, but I ruin every opportunity. I'm trying to change, but I keep falling back into old patterns." That pull, that's the entangled mind at work. Your subconscious doesn't care what you want. It cares what you've been conditioned to expect. And until you change that expectation at the frequency level, you'll keep replaying the same cycles. New people, new jobs, new spiritual tools, but the same emotional core. The truth is, your mind has been colonized, not by a person, not by a force, but by repeated low-frequency programming. And here's the hard part. Some of that programming feels like you. Some feels like intuition. Some even feels like truth. But it's not. It's armor. A survival mechanism built for a version of you that only learned to endure. Not to grow, not to choose, not to step into the reality where you're already free. But if your mind is so tangled in pain's lessons, how do you reclaim it? You don't fight it. You don't judge it. You don't try to outsmart the field. You make a decision to remember. Your subconscious isn't a storage unit. It's a broadcast signal. And what it broadcasts becomes your life. And here's what most never realize. Your subconscious isn't just shaped by your past. It's calibrated by your entanglements. Meaning, the people you're connected to, the energies you interact with, the memories you replay, the emotions you dwell on in silence. They all send signals back into your field. And if you never clear those connections, you keep receiving feedback from an old version of yourself, one that no longer fits the reality you claim to want. So the question isn't how to think better thoughts, it's who or what your mind is still tied to. It could be a memory, a past version of you, a parent, a trauma, unspoken silence, an unchallenged identity. Until you bring clarity to that bond, it'll keep pulling your energy back into the cycle. But here's the shift. You are not your habits. You are not your conditioning. You are not the echo. You are the source. And when the source clears, the field answers. The mind changes. The body adjusts. Reality transforms. In the next chapter, we dive in. You'll learn the practical method to detach from old patterns and align your subconscious with the reality your soul has chosen, the one your mind hasn't caught up to yet. It's not about doing more. It's about attuning to what's already transmitting. Just beyond your current reach, we'll step into that next. Because once you sense the frequency of your true self, the mind stops fighting. It recalls. Now that you grasp the field, now that you sense the ties, you're ready to change. But not how the world taught you. This isn't about pushing change. It's not about chanting affirmations or scribbling goals in a journal. The subconscious doesn't respond to words. It responds to resonance, and that resonance must be embedded through feeling, emotion, and awareness. That's how we reprogram. But first, a key point. You can't change what you still cling to. So before we begin, you must decide. Choose to release your current identity as absolute truth. Not because it's wrong, but because it's limited. The you that got this far was vital. It endured, it coped, it held things together. But it was wired for a reality that no longer fits who you're becoming. And so, the transformation starts. Here. Now, breathe deep. Inhale slowly. Exhale completely. Let your body relax. Let your jaw relax. Let your shoulders soften. Feel gravity supporting you. Now picture this. There's a strand of light running down your spine, from the crown of your head to the base of your body. This strand is the signal, the carrier of code, the bridge between your field and the greater field. Visualize this strand beginning to pulse, slow and steady, like a heartbeat. With each pulse, a wave of energy ripples outward, dissolving static. Static from old loops, old entanglements, old identities. You're not deleting them. You're honoring them and choosing anew. Now focus on your chest, right at the center, the heart. Picture this point as a transmitter, sending a clear signal into the field. Now ask yourself, not with your mind, but with your energy, what reality have I been broadcasting that I no longer want to replay? Don't. Answer with words. Let the feelings surface. Let the truth emerge in silence, and with that awareness, invite the new frequency in. Not a fantasy, not a future, but the version of you that already exists in harmony, clarity, love, and flow. See them, feel them, breathe as them. Now, breathe as them. Feel their breath in your lungs, their confidence in your stance, their calm in your chest. Let it unfold now. Let the merge begin, not as an idea, but as a resonance. You're not imagining, you're attuning. You're syncing your subconscious field with a timeline that already exists, one that's been waiting for you to remember. And now, in this moment, you do. Now, silently or out loud, repeat the following phrase, but only if you mean it. I release the loop. I reclaim the code. I return to alignment. Again, let it resonate within you. I release the loop. I reclaim the code. I return to alignment. Feel it ripple through your being. Now, take one more breath. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Let the shift settle. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. Because you've just sent out a new signal, one the field will answer. But only if you stay aligned with it. This is the real work. Not repeating steps, but living from this new frequency as your default state. It doesn't demand perfection. It demands presence. Because when you sustain the signal long enough, the feedback shifts, reality rearranges, the field reacts, the entanglement transforms. Suddenly, you're not struggling to escape a version of your life. You've simply outgrown it. This is quantum recoding, not forcing new outcomes, but dissolving old timelines by no longer vibrating at their frequency. And the more you stabilize in this coherence, the more the unseen changes surface. People change, opportunities arise, thoughts reorganize, emotions mellow. It's not magic, it's physics. And it starts with one decision: to hold the new frequency long enough to become it. In this final chapter, we tie it all together. Because there's one last truth to grasp, one last activation to trigger. And once you embody it, you won't just change your reality. You'll change who you are within it. From there, everything responds. Now that you've felt the shift, now that you've breathed as the version of yourself who remembers, you're ready for the final code. But before we begin, you need to know this truth. Not with your mind, but with your entire being. You were never broken. Nothing was ever wrong with you. Every loop you cycled through, every timeline you relived, every pattern you couldn't shake, they weren't punishments. They were messages from your subconscious, trying to protect you the only way it understood. The mind doesn't cling to pain to torment you. It clings to pain because pain is familiar. And in the quantum field, familiarity is power. Whatever your system registers as known, even if it's chaos, it will recreate, not because you choose it, but because your field believes that's what you are. But that belief, that signal, is no longer yours to carry. Because now, you've remembered the truth, that you are not the echo. You are the frequency. You are not the loop. You are the one who decides what's worth repeating. And now, you choose differently. You choose coherence. You choose clarity. You choose alignment. And above all, you choose to become a conscious transmitter in the field. Because here's what they never told you. The field isn't separate from you. It's not something out there. It's not the universe watching from afar. You are the field. You are the feedback loop. You are the code, the signal, the observer, and the result. When you shift your coherence, you shift your gravity. And when your gravity changes, reality orbits something new. You don't need to fight for a new life. You just need to hold a new frequency, and the rest will follow. But here's the final key. The one buried beneath all others. Nothing outside you changes until you no longer fit who you once were. That's the real detachment. Not from people, not from outcomes, but from the identity that bound you to limitation. You're not waiting for a better life. You've simply stopped tuning into the old one. And the moment you truly grasp that, not just intellectually, but in your bones, everything around you begins to shift. People act differently toward you. You speak with more certainty. Synchronicities show up. Resistance fades. Not because reality shifted, but because you did. You became the new frequency. And the field, as it always does, responded. So now, breathe into this final truth. I no longer flee the loop. I no longer fight the field. I embody the code. One more time, breathe it in. I am the code. This isn't a trick, it's awakening. The realization that your subconscious is not your enemy, it's your instrument. And now, it's aligned. From this moment forward, you're not just thinking differently, you're being different. And that is what reality reflects. If you felt this, if something inside you moved during this journey, don't let it be just another clip you watched. Let this be the moment your reality changed and never returned. And if you're walking this path with me, if you're ready to live in this frequency and expand it daily, comment below. I dissolved the old code. Let me know you're here. Let me sense your presence in this field. Because this isn't entertainment. This is connection. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you want more than videos, if you want to anchor this new frequency with me, step by step, subscribe now. Not as a mindless click, but as a commitment. This space, this channel, is a beacon. And those who remain transform. You are the field. You are the code. You are the decision. And now, it unfolds.